Now what happens, y'all? What happens when somebody goes from despair to hope and begins a recovery journey? What happens to their identity?
They form a new one.
Yeah, they form a new one. And what if we're thinking about the messages, we've talked to a lot of people in recovery, and it seems like they say one of two things. I formed a new identity. Or they say, the person that I always should have been and always knew I could be emerged. So they talk about it in those two ways. Isn't that interesting? That it was in there, but it's just covered up with that crap on the disease exchange side. But now I'm emerging. The person that I always was is coming to the forefront. And so what are the messages that come? Instead of I'm a piece of garbage, I can't be forgiven, the confusion, the resentment, the shame, how do people in recovery feel about themselves? How does it start?
I think your self-esteem grows.
Okay, it grows. It does.
I start seeing a little hope in myself.
A little hope in yourself.
I can do this.
Yeah. Does it start with I can do this, or does it start with maybe?
Sure.
Sterling said it. Maybe, just maybe, I'm not a piece of garbage. Maybe, just maybe, what? Fill in the blank.
I can do this.
I can do this. Maybe, just maybe,
I'm okay.
I'm okay. Maybe, just maybe, I can be forgiven. Maybe, just maybe, I've got some talents and some skills. Maybe, just maybe. And if you think about somebody like Sterling, who's now 30 plus years in his recovery, what do you think his identity sounds like? We're going to get inside Sterling's head. Doesn't that sound like a great... He's got great hair. We're going to have to get past his hair to get in his head. But what do you think it sounds like in there?
Unlimited agency.
Unlimited agency. Do you think Sterling walks around in his recovery and says, man, I am the bee's knees. I am kick-ass. Do you think he says that inside of his head? Those of you that are in recovery and have had some time, what does it sound like?
It's more like, I've gotten through this before, so I ought to be able to manage it this time.
Yeah, I can get through. I have some, but when you say that, there's some humility to that. Right?
Yeah, because you're not forgetting how worthless you felt before.
Yeah.
That, I don't think that goes away. You just try to go past it, and continue going past it.
Yes.
And I think that if you come back to this step 3, it's also this confidence in this higher power that Sterling in his years of recovery, or anyone who's relied on a higher power, can say, yeah, I have confidence because of the higher power. So it's that balance of what you just said. There's the balance of I can do this, but I can't do it by myself.
Me and my higher power can get through anything together. Today.
I'm not perfect and that's okay.
Oh, did you hear that? That's beautiful. Like if I do superstar for you. Superstar. That's a great superstar answer. Say it again.
I'm not perfect and that's okay.
I'm not perfect and that's okay. That's a wonderful identity statement. I'm not perfect and that's okay. Somebody else had a hand up. Scott.
I was just thinking thank you. Just some kind of, if I know Sterling, I'll just thank you.
Just gratitude. Sterling writes in the book, he said, at this point in my recovery, I can say this. I'm a good person, capable of great things. Think about that. Now, Sterling's a great man. He really is. I'm not just saying that because he's here. He's one of my best friends. He is a great man. He does great things, right? But 30 years in, what he can muster in his recovery is that he's a good person, capable of great things. The humility, right, that comes. And he allows me to talk about this, and if not, he can stop me. But there are times where the old tapes still play. He hasn't been able to eradicate them all inside of his head. The old tapes still play, that he's maybe a piece of garbage. But he can rally in the moment with he and his higher power and push those aside and remember that he's a good person capable of great things. How does that fit for us family members and loved ones?
We always knew you were capable.
Okay, so as we look at our addicts and alcoholic loved ones in recovery, we're like, well, of course, we've always seen that. We knew you were capable. Okay. What about for us? Is it a similar journey?
Feels like redemption.
Okay, feels like redemption. Yeah.
I thought I had to take, in order for me to feel any of that, I had to first of all be willing to take an action and see that I could succeed. Because if it stayed in my head and I just thunk it, it was never going to be anything more than a thought. So I had to really be willing to step out, you know, and see if I could really do something.
Yes.
So when I did, that gave me the hope to go on and do something again.
Yeah. You've just made a very important connection about the 6 essentials. What did she just connect identity to? Which one of the essentials?
She had to step back.
Yeah.
And take an honest look at herself.
She had to step back, but she talks about stepping out and doing something. What is that? That's an achievement. It's an accomplishment. And if you think about the interplay between achievements and accomplishment and identity, right? One of the ways that we can push those pieces of garbage or it's our fault or the blame away is to see something, evidence of something different. I'm really not, look, I've done a lot of service work. I've helped some people in my life. You know, maybe I'm not such a piece of garbage. And that achievement and accomplishments begins to change. It's the internal and external goods, right? Internally, we have to change. We have to change the way we think and what we say about ourselves in recovery, both addicts and alcoholics and those that love them. We have to change the way we think